Do you ever have a plant that you just straight up ignore? Because I definitely do, especially when my edible garden is cranking. Sometimes my indoor houseplants can get a little worse for the wear, and that is very true of my snake plant. This is just one of the varieties that I have, and if we take a look at it, if we pull it out of its pot, there's more than one. There's this little guy back here, there's this, I guess you could say, teenager right here, and then there's this big honker right here. So there are 3 different snake plants. Snake plants are a plant that do like to be a little bit root bound, but certainly these are getting a little crowded. They've been in their nursery pot for quite a while. Sometimes I just like leaving plants in their nursery pot instead of potting them up right away as soon as I buy them. But it's time to divide this guy and propagate it by just dividing it into separate pots, and then we're gonna pot it up into this new, ooh, it's heavy, oh boy, this new awesome Terra sculpture planter that my friend sent out to me. Just a fun one, and it's got this little pot in pot method, so you can actually care for your plants correctly, drainage-wise, while still having aesthetic outside. So, ooh, let's put this heavy boy down, and let's break this baby up. So we've got this nice little planter here. This is the pot in pot that's gonna go into the larger one that's sitting right down there. And you can see it's got a nice little insert in here that kind of acts as a bit of a sub-irrigated wicking bed, which you know I'm always a fan of. So we're gonna need to water these snake plants even less than you would need to water them normally, because this nice water reservoir here at the bottom. And as far as soil, I just have a very classic Tom cactus citrus mix, which does perfectly fine for snake plants, being a succulent plant. So let's go ahead and we'll do a fill and hopefully not do any spilling. And we spilled a little bit, but that's how we roll here. It's all good. So we've got our nice, slightly below full planter here with a beautiful, beautiful mix, if I do say so myself. And it's time to arrange these. So I like to put this big guy over here in the corner as a little accent piece. He's got like a little bit of a dead leaf right here, so we can come through and we'll pull. It's not gonna come off, so I'm gonna make sure I don't damage it and just do a little quick clip. That's just a dead leaf. Nothing to stress about, but I certainly just would want to remove it just so it's not looking not so pretty. So we'll put it in here. We'll just make a nice little hole, plop our snake plant in, make sure we secure it. And of course, the roots are going to take a little bit of time to get established, and it will be much more secure once those roots have fixed themselves into their new home, right? But for now, we can just kind of backfill around this. Compress it, but not too hard. Just give it enough so it's snug, and then we'll water it in. So this whole planter is actually going to be filled with some other plants as well. So I don't want to put all the snake plants right up next to each other. That would also defeat the purpose of repotting them in the first place, because that's how they started out, right, when we started the video. So we'll put this one over here. And I do like the idea, just like spatially, of putting the smaller one somewhat close to this mid-sized one. But I am going to keep in mind that eventually some other succulents will be going in here. So I might offset it just a little bit, kind of throw it back like this. And then in this little corner over here, eventually I can put something else that's nice and small, or maybe I could keep that as a little succulent propagation section. Lots of different things I could do with that. But when you're repotting a snake plant in general, what you want to do is, if you're going from a planter or a pot to a pot, just sizing up the pot a little bit, you don't want to go too crazy. So just size it up about 1 inch or so. And so now we have this nice little boom boom arrangement here. These snake plants are going to do just fine. They're going to start growing a little bit more now that they have the opportunity to, both space-wise and nutrient-wise in the soil. And our only last step is to water them in. Okay, we have our outer planter. Let's place this inside. Nice little look to that, and if you do ask me, I think it looks pretty good. And so water-wise, remember this was fresh soil mix, so I'm gonna be kind of light when I come through in the first place. Just make sure that the soil is nice and moist, and then I'm gonna give it a relatively deep water. I didn't water these before I repotted them, so I think they can handle a decent amount of water. And it's summer right now, it's pretty hot even inside my home. And so I'll go ahead and just give them a nice deep water right around that base. And then just let them be. I mean, honestly, They survive that long in my other pot for a reason. They are a hardy plant. But you know, one common misconception about snake plants is that they can tolerate shade. It's true, of course, that they can tolerate shade, but they would prefer it if you gave them full sun. So if you can afford it, go ahead and do it, and you'll see your snake plants absolutely explode in growth. So there we go. We've pretty much watered it in. I'll just hydrate the rest of this soil because I have the ability to, and I'm going to plant some more stuff in here later. Pretty easy, right? I mean, almost doesn't need its own video. It's so simple, but the things to keep in mind is size it up only about an inch or so, unless you're doing something like this where you're planting it with a mixed arrangement, which I think more people should do with their houseplants. Why plant just one plant per pot? Mix things around, do little planter arrangements even indoors, and get these longer planters, and then you can just do a mix of succulents or a mix of ferns, or, you know, as long as the plant has the same soil conditions and growth requirements, then put it in the same bit of soil. There's no reason not to do that. It's a little more dynamic. But anyways, make sure that you break the roots up effectively. Make sure you prune off any rot if you see it. Make sure you kind of clean the plant up, and then just put it in the right mix, put it in the right pot, and put it in the right place. After you care for it, just let it establish itself. It'll be completely fine. If you'd like a look at this planter, my friend gave it to me. My friend Ryan Benoit partnered with this company called Terra Sculpture. So pretty cool one. It's quite heavy. I gotta be honest, like I could work out with this thing. It is so heavy. I do like some shoulder presses or something. But anyways, guys, more houseplant care guides will be coming throughout the summer and fall, and just on the channel in general. I'm gonna try to do a somewhat even blend of the houseplants, the edibles, the farm tours, all that stuff, because for me, I don't want to specialize. I know people say, here's how you grow, you specialize, and you blow up. I don't really care. I'm just gonna do it how I wanna do it, and how I wanna do it is experimenting with all different types of plants. So even something as simple as repotting a snake plant, we'll do it here on the channel. And until next time, good luck in the garden, and keep on growing.